Alrighty guys, I'm actually going today, so the sun is out and leaves are falling like crazy. Trucks are around. We had kind of a windstorm yesterday. It was freaking got pretty gusty out for wind, so I gave my flags a good workout. The only, as you guys seen, I got the flags mounted up already, obviously. I'm a little bit concerned about the screws that came with those mounts. I don't think they're quite long enough. I don't know exactly how far it went into any of the wood that's on my roof. I think all it went into was just the whatever underneath the shingles and that paper shit, the sheet or the plywood or whatever that crap is. I think that's all it's basically is hanging on to. But, I'm gonna maybe give it that, and it got a good workout yesterday, so I was gonna crawl up on the roof again and check the screws and see if they maybe got loose or not, because if they did get loose, then I'm gonna probably end up getting longer ones put in them. But they'll see how they go. So, but yeah, they're up there flying, doing their thing. And the truck just took off. And yeah, and then was it yesterday or was it the day before? I think it was the day before, because I know yesterday I didn't do anything. Yeah, it was, well, yesterday I went and did some stuff in the gardens, and the power went out over here in town, and I had heard the sound of a transformer blowing up, which I thought it was a transformer blowing up, but it was over there on the North Dakota side, because our power comes from over there, I guess. So we were without power for a couple hours, which I thought they would be there all day. Okay, you know. And I thought maybe it was just maybe transformer blew, because that's what it sounded like. And no, it was not. It was actually a stupid cocksucker, an average Joe, cutting trees down next to power lines, and I guess it was windy, I think, too, that day a little bit, so I don't know if either he wasn't paying attention or he couldn't save the tree from the wind being pushing on it, but the tree fell on the power line and ripped it right out, so I don't know, maybe it got ripped from a transformer thingy or something, I don't know. See, like on top of those, you know, I'm not going to zoom in, but on top of that little pole there's like a little mini transformer kind of like thing. I don't know exactly what the real terms are. But normally those you don't really ever hear blowing up. You usually hear the big ones exploding all the time. So I don't know if that's maybe what I heard explode or what, but it wasn't good. But so we were without power for a couple hours, which I guess wasn't too bad, considering all the damage that he probably did. So, but whatever, they fixed it, a couple hours, no big deal. I mean, we were pretty pissed off because that was not necessary to be doing. One, it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if you think you're damn good at taking trees down, you know, just being your average Joe, you know, I mean, they even tell you if you need trees that need to be removed near any power line stuff, you know, you're supposed to call either the power company or you're supposed to hire an actual tree removal company, and they'll do it they'll do it the safe way. Well, this fucking idiot just thought he could do it himself and he would have no problems. You know, but again, he probably thought that he thought he knew what he was doing. I mean, I know what I'm doing with tree removal and stuff, you know, but I'm only going to take it so far, you know. Like, if trees are taller than power lines, I'm not going to touch them. If they're leaning into buildings or power lines, I ain't going to touch them. Simple as that. Because even though I have some level of skills with taking trees down, because I've been doing it for so long, when it comes to power lines, I ain't going to do it. That's why this tree, this tree here, I never took it down. Because it was leaning over the shop, and it was close to these power lines. Okay. And then I have a few other ones too that need to be taken down as well. You know, look at this. Look at that damn spider web there. Like those two trees right there. Okay. I'm not going to take them down because they're, you know, they're beyond my level of skill because, you know, for one, they're leaning over trees, or they're leaning over power lines, and they're leaning over my shop. So if those trees have to be removed, I'm going to have to hire a company to do it because I don't want to risk pulling power lines down, you know, and damaging a building at the same time. Yesterday, last couple of days, I have been taking trees down actually. I've been taking down some trees in that ditch that I mow by the farm. I've been taking those trees down because those stupid things are growing out like crazy. They're actually growing, they're leaning a little bit, and they're growing to where the ditch doesn't get any sun, so it don't dry out. So I'm taking the trees down. I took quite a few down already. I'm going to take some more down probably. And open it up some more, clean it up a little bit and shit. But it's okay though because the power lines are across the street and the trees are not that tall yet. They're not tall enough to where they're going to be hitting power lines. You know. So, but yeah, so I don't know. People I think are stupid around here, but what are you going to do, right? So that was not necessary to do. I mean, I understand you want trees removed by, you know, in your property, and power lines have to be going across your property too. Call the power company. That's what they're for. Unless the tree is leaning away from the power lines, it's actually leaning into your property, not into power lines. Then you could probably do it yourself. You know, but if it's leaning into trees, or if it's windy out, you know, don't do it. Have some smartness. You don't need skills, you need to be smart. Because any skills that you do learn will also help in your smartness. You know, skills and smartness work together pretty damn good because I've done it. I put my skills and I put my smartness together, and I know what's safe and what isn't. I've taken down some monster fucking trees with my little saw, and I've had no problems. Of course, now again, where I'm cutting trees, it doesn't matter where they fall because there's no power lines anywhere near them. So, you know, if it crashes into another tree, well, big deal. And that's going to be kind of a shit show too, because now you got to cut the other tree down and help fall it. But that's where it gets dangerous. But, you know, you have to check your surroundings too. You got to know what the hell you're doing to take trees down near power lines. For me, I don't care if I've had 40 years of experience doing it. I still ain't doing it. Unless I know that I have the right kind of equipment to do the job. To do it right. You know, if I had a boom truck, you know, and a small little saw, and I could get way up there and cut them in little pieces and throw them down by hand instead of just cutting the whole tree down at once, you know, that's the smart way of doing it. But, whatever. It's no big deal. Well, it's a big deal when you fucking lose power, but if you're taking trees down in a forest, it's probably not going to matter so much, but you still need to be careful, you know, because you may kill yourself or someone that's working with you, you know, so. But yeah, people are stupid, especially when they have no experience with taking trees down, you know. I mean, they think they do, but then they end up freaking ripping power lines down, because they're stupid to do that, so. But yeah, so we're done talking about that now. The guy did show up to cut more hay here. He did the field by the cemetery, and then he did the ditch. He did cut the ex-mayor's field, but he was already cutting it. the ex-mayor, his field, he was already mowing it down because he wasn't going to wait. He didn't think anyone was going to show up, so he mowed about half of it down. So he just went and finished it. The guy with the truck, or the guy that was cutting the hay, that cut our hay, and he was thinking about cutting that little field. There's a little field over there, but he said that he ain't going to bother with that because he's got more expensive hay that needs to be put down. So yeah, and then there's another little field too over next to our property that never got mowed either because that was all just full of fucking burdocks. That needs to be sprayed with Roundup. The whole thing. It's not our property, so I mean I could probably talk to the state and see if the state will let me do something with it enough to where in the future maybe I can cut it for hay, But they're gonna have to understand too. Then I'm gonna have to spray something on it to keep the weeds down because these weeds are bullshit. So they probably won't care too much, So, but yeah, so we're basically done now with hay. So, he didn't want to do that other little piece. He says it ain't worth it anyway. You're probably lucky if you probably get 3 or 4 bales out of it, which to us would be worth it because we're a small time farm anyway. So every bale counts, but to a large farmer like him, it doesn't matter. So he likes the big fields better, which I'm sure even the small time farmers would love at least one big field, which we do have. So, but yeah. So anyways, my grandma was going to go to where my bank's at. They're in that town. She had to go run some errands. So I figured, well, I'll go with. Because they're selling a loader there that will fit on my tractor that I want to get. My grandma and my mom were there earlier on because that guy is the one that's going to be fixing the 400 when we decide to get that fixed. So, but he's also selling that loader that I want. Okay, and the loader is decent. The loader does have some what I call farmer welds. Because there's a huge difference between factory welds and then just farmer welds. Farmer welds, and sometimes will look a little bit more crappier than factory. Factory welds look like factory welds. They look deep. They look really good, right? So these were farmer welds. But the only place that it was on was the bucket mounts. Not the bucket itself, but where you hook the bucket onto, the mount there. It's a pin-on design, but I don't know, it's some kind of a stupid setup they got going on there. But that's the only thing that's wrong with it. Oh, and then the hoses are on their way out. They're getting shot as well. So, I mean, they got cracks in them. They're not super wore out, but I'm going to probably replace the hoses throughout the winter. I'll buy a hose here and there and replace them because they're shot. The mount for the loader and the loader itself is still factory. It's still good. It's in really, really good shape. It's not tore up like some loaders are, and I've seen loaders, they're just hacked up to where they're not even usable anymore. So, which is actually kind of decent news because to find a good loader like that on Tractor House, okay, it can be done. I've already done it. The thing is getting in here. Okay, well, getting in here isn't so bad. But how am I going to unload it from a semi truck? Maybe the 400 could lift it. I don't know because this loader's would probably be a lot heavier. So maybe the 400 could lift it okay, but it would probably be doing a lot of struggling with it too. So, then they would have to, if I couldn't lift it with the 400, then I'd have to find someone with a couple of Bobcats, or something, to get it out. It's a pain in the ass. This loader's already in town, basically. I would have to drive my tractor there, so they could put the loader on it. So, and he said that the loader was used very little apparently because it's not that bad. I mean, fuck, it's even still got the factory bucket. Now, the bucket does have one major dent in it, but that's common for buckets because, duh, you're using them. So, yeah, they're going to get beat up. But it's really, it's, besides that one big dent in the bucket, it's a damn good bucket yet, too. So, I mean, the bucket's dirty and everything because it's been sitting a while, but the only thing that the loader would need is new hoses, maybe the mount for the bucket. Maybe you could have to get new ones, or you'd have to have them custom made. That's basically it. Just that and the hoses. Oh, and it's also got the surprisingly, I didn't think these kind of loaders had them, but well, because on my friend's tractor, he doesn't have them. I don't think. But it's got the loader, the bucket level indicator on it. You can order that with all, basically any loader nowadays comes with them. It tells you if your bucket's level with the ground or not. It's like a metal rod that sticks out the side. You can order that as the option from John Deere. You can order that with or without it. So, but this loader comes with it. But that is pretty bent up. And, well, if you go figure, it's a piece of rod and it's sticking out, naturally it's going to get bent. So that's another thing that's kind of wrecked on it. But I don't really need it anyway because fuck it, you don't need it. If you can't look through the window and see how your bucket's doing, there's something seriously wrong. But it is good though if you're using your bucket for a lot of grading, which I guess will be handy for snow removal. But again, I'm going to be looking more at the loader itself than the damn indicator. So, but overall the loader's good. I think the asking price for it is a little bit ridiculous, but what are you going to do? He wants $4,000 for the fucking loader. And then he said to put it on, because he said that he doesn't know for sure, because apparently they don't really do a lot of loader removals and installs, which I guess that they don't. A lot of, people, when they buy a tractor, they go straight to the dealer, and then of course the dealers would install it, or they find a tractor that's already got a loader on it. There are two tractors there that both have loaders. And I'm kind of a big fan of both of them, believe it or not. So, but yeah, so they charge $55 an hour, and he thinks for about a 10-hour job. He doesn't know for sure. He says this is just a random price, but he doesn't know for sure. He says he doesn't know how it'll work. He doesn't think that it fits on there, but I said, yeah, it fits on there, because I looked it up. I looked at that make and model of that loader, compared it to the tractor that I'm getting. It'll fit perfect. It's supposed to fit perfect. He says, well, depending on how it goes, that for 10 hours, if it takes them 10 hours to do it, it'll be $550. Depending, though. I mean, if they get it done in, let's say it takes them maybe an hour, it can't take them no more than probably 20 minutes to actually remove it, if even that, because it's just bolted on. Everything's, the mounts are bolted on. The loader itself is supposed to be quick attach from the mounts, so dropping the loader should only take a minute, and then from there to remove the mounts, that should probably take maybe 20 minutes. If they use an impact gun, it'll probably be less, which I know they'll use an impact gun. So, and then to install it on my tractor, he says that he has to make sure that it'll fit. Right now, the loader is sitting on a different tractor, and it's shimmed to that loader or to that tractor because the tractor's smaller than the loader itself. They have a way small tractor for that. And how that tractor can actually. Well, see, he thinks that when the farmer sold that tractor and that loader was never on that tractor. He thinks it was probably on something bigger. Because the way I see it, this tractor can be no more than 100 horsepower, if even that. And you got a big ass loader on the son of a bitch. So meaning if you're going to actually use that thing for any real work, I think your tractor's going to be struggling a little bit. But apparently it's had a pretty easy life. besides the mounts for the bucket. They're pretty, well, they're not shot, but they have farmer welds on them, and they look like they're still holding. So, yeah, I don't know. So, but so far, just the loader itself, he said that he would sell the loader independent or separate from the tractor. He says that if you don't want the tractor, then you don't have to buy it. Because the loader, the tractor itself, it's only got about 4,000 hours on it, the one that's holding the loader right now. But it's not what I want. Because it doesn't have an air-conditioned cab. It's not even a heated cab from what I can tell. The wheels are spaced out too far apart. It's basically like a roll crop tractor. It's got duals. I mean, well, it has the dual hubs on it. But I can tell you guys right now, that tractor has not moved in a long time. Because there was a goddamn bird nest in the motor. Like in between the fan and the engine block. There's a gap in between the two. There's a fucking bird nest in there. But what if someone wanted to come and take it for a test drive? You know, maybe someone was really interested in the tractor. And there was birds living in it. I mean, now you're going to destroy a home. Because now, I mean, what if they don't even know that it's there and they fire the thing up and they just destroy all the birds and, the eggs and everything? You know, that's just stupid. But, again, it's an open engine tractor design, so birds can fly in there and, they can just fly in there. Which is kind of stupid, but whatever. Plus, that tractor is also missing some panels on the side of the hood. It has a quick attach on the 3-point, but I don't think it works because I tried it. It's a decent tractor. I mean, for 4,000 hours, it's not a bad tractor. But they want $15,000 for the tractor and the loader. Which, yeah, I mean, I could do if I wanted to, but I don't like the tractor. The tractor is not, it's not for me. I would say it would be a damn good snowblower tractor, though. Because, it's a really small tractor. It's a little bit smaller than even what I'm getting. So, for horsepower-wise it is, but for actual size, it's smaller. Because they had to shim the loader to it. That's the only way they would get the loader to fit. They had to shim it. So, what shims are is basically flat pieces of steel. Which I guess I can show you, because maybe, I don't know if BearTech would know. I'll try to explain it to you. What they do with the loader is they would take pieces of steel like this, okay, but thicker, depending on how thick they needed it. And they'd put this between the tractor frame and the loader frame mount, okay? That takes up the slack. So instead of your loader moving like this when you move it, it's solid, so it's doesn't have all that play in it. You have to shim it to make it fit. If you don't, then you're just stressing it out even more because now it's moving and sliding on the bolt and you're just going to scrape your bolts to shit. So, it's to make it fit snugly and, so it doesn't have no slop in it. Well, to my tractor, it shouldn't need to be shimmed, so yeah. And then apparently, I got this catalog from him as well. I think I've heard of this company. Rings a bell anyway. But they sell tractor kits for all kinds of tractors. So, I'm thinking I'm probably going to order the cab kit, because apparently with my tractor, the cab, and inside the cab it has this foam. Well, every tractor has them. It covers up the frame of the cab. It's, I forget the hell what they call it. It's not insulation or anything. It's just like it covers up the framing, and it makes it look nicer. Kind of like in a house, you have the studs, and then if you don't want to see the studs, so then they put sheetrock over it, and then you don't see that. Well, it's basically kind of the same thing with this, except it's soft. But anyways, they sell cab interior kits. That's what it is, interior kits. Okay. Right now we're just looking at John Deere, but apparently he can do it as well, because apparently it was my tractor that I'm thinking about getting. It's shot. So, yes, for this tractor, he says there would be a price, but I'm not seeing a price, so. Oh, well, actually, I think what you gotta do is you have to take, I guess you gotta take the part number, and then you gotta go to the book and then it'll tell you, so. But I'm not gonna waste your guys' time doing that. But apparently they're supposed to sell the cab kits for my kind of tractor anyway. So, and of course, he said here it would show the prices. So if I could find the tractor that I'm looking for, so yeah, about $100, just kind of. So I mean, this is just, I'm not really looking at it. I'm just kind of randomly looking at it. So, but yeah, so I'll probably have him put in the cab kit too, which will probably charge me a fortune for that as well. I could do it myself. It's just a point that I may do a half-ass job and it won't be worth it. So I may have them do it, or I'll have the dealer that's selling the tractor right now. Maybe I'll have them do it. If they'll do it. If not, then I'll have the guys with the loader do it. Another thing that I've been looking for. I had asked him about this. There's actually a couple other things I had asked him about, but he's not 100% sure either. One is a tilt steering column setup, because the tractor I'm looking at, I don't think came with it. Which means the steering wheel can tilt. Like, see on the John Deere, my wheel can tilt, which I'll kind of show you. Okay, there's a little lever in the back. You can see how it tilts up and down. Okay, well on that tractor I'm looking at, I don't think had that option. And it can also telescope out too, right? And as far as I can tell, my tractor I'm looking at doesn't come with it. So I was going to also see if he could find either a factory kit or even maybe an aftermarket kit or something that would fit onto that tractor and install one. Now, yeah, it's going to be a lot of money because they have to change the shafts in the center because, you know, I think when you have a fixed steering, then it's fixed all the way down to wherever it goes from there. If you get a tilt steering, then in here somewhere, it has like, well, the shaft or whatever can turn with it. You know, it'll allow it to tilt. It's basically kind of like a drive shaft, like on a baler. When you make a turn with the baler, the shaft will turn with the baler a little bit. So I'm kind of using that as to explain it. You know, it's not a drive shaft, obviously. I don't think in the steering column, but it allows the steering wheel to tilt. Okay. So obviously, all that's going to have to get changed up and stuff too, because this tractor doesn't have it. As far as I can tell, I'm still going to go down and take a look at it anyway. And I want to see if they'll do it. See if they can find the factory parts, or maybe if he thinks that K&M would probably sell it, but I don't know. This is just their catalog, and all I see is mostly cab parts. I don't see anything for. Well, you think I would be part of that too, because the steering wheel is in the cab. And then the second thing I asked him about is putting a grapple on that loader, because the damn loader doesn't come with a grapple. I said, well, can you find one that's original to the loader, like, you know, a factory grapple? And he says, well, they probably don't even make them anymore, which I don't think they do. But I would like to stick with the original. I mean, yeah, you can get aftermarket grapples, which I don't know if K&M would sell grapples. I'm going to look, but to me, I don't really care how the grapple looks. It's just, well, it does. But if I can't find the original grapples that will go with that bucket or that loader, I'm sure I'd be just fine with an aftermarket grapple. But I did go on a website. I think it's actually, if you guys watch One Lonely Farmer's videos, that dealer he deals with, they have a website. I think that's the website I actually found some information on those grapples. And apparently it's supposed to fit to that loader that I'm looking at. But it says discontinued. But it looked like it was an original, grapple for that loader. So, I don't know. So, but I'm going to make it his problem to find me one. Because I don't want to have to, because I can't find grapples for my loader. I looked on Tractor House, can't find them. I Googled it, can't find them. I'd probably be okay with an aftermarket grapple, no big deal, but it's the point that it has to fit to that kind of loader. And it's got a damn good sized bucket too, that loader. I think, what did he say, what was it? That would be a damn good snow removal bucket, I can damn guarantee you that. Let's see here, this is the thing he wrote down. 84-inch material bucket. So 84 inches is a damn big bucket. Holy shit. But it's a damn big ass loader too, right? So yeah, he wants $4,000 for the loader, plus however much for labor to put it on, take it off this tractor and put it on my tractor. And then if I want him to do the cab interior kit, that'll be whatever from there. But yeah, so I kind of would like to get a grapple for it. But if I can't, I may have to wait until summertime and see if I can find an aftermarket grapple. But I think for what will probably end up happening now, because I think this is going to be kind of really expensive to do this setup. I didn't think he'd be asking that much for a loader. That's a little bit ridiculous, but whatever. I'm not going to argue with the man, so because he's been nice and whatever. So I may have to put the John Deere on hold to see for the blower anyway. Because the loader, even though the tractor's super huge and the loader's super huge, it will move snow fine. And I guess if I get a big ass snowstorm or something, I could just use the tractor, not even use Big Red at all. Use Big Red for the light jobs. Because right here, to open the shop, the loader will work. To open this up will work. It'll work fine until I hit the power line, and it'll do just fine by the mailbox and in the driveway. But right here, it's not going to fit. Okay, it'll be too tight of a fit. Unless I got really, I'd have to figure it out. Lift the loader so it doesn't scrape here and then drop it. I don't know. All I can do, man, is just get the damn tractor here, put the fucking loader on it, and try it out. That's the only way you're ever going to figure shit out. You just got to figure it. You just got to put it on there and figure it out as you use it. But it'll be a damn good snow removal bucket. So, but I would like to get a grapple for it. Because from what I found, the original grapples that go on that tractor, apparently they just bolt between the loader mount for the bucket goes on the bucket mounts for the loader and the bucket itself. It's supposed to apparently go in between the two, or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. I'd have to take a picture of it, I guess, and shove it on this video. So, but I'm probably not gonna do that. Too much work. So I don't know. But I've seen loaders on Tractor House go for a lot less than that. 4,000 is quite a bit. I got a feeling this guy's possibly going to. He may just try to rip me off, but if I need something right away, I need something right away. There's not much I can do about it. So yeah. So I went and looked at that loader, and it seems like a damn good loader. It's still perfect. Well, besides the bucket mounts or the loader mounts for the bucket, they're shot. But if my dealer, if he can't replace them, or if I can't find aftermarket ones, I may have to go to a metal shop, and they'll have to custom make me some new ones because they're not going to last. Once you get farmer welds on them, they don't last. I know that they probably stick welding a lot better than MIG welding, because it gets hotter and it goes deeper. But it's the point that I'm not gonna be babying the loader. I mean, snow removal. Well, that's not even that won't fuck the loader up one bit. But when it comes to digging dirt, which is what I'm going to be doing with it too, and moving bales with it, it stresses them out a little bit more than just snow removal. It's not that if you're moving snow with them, it's not that bad. But it's moving hay bales and digging dirt. I ain't gonna be digging a lot of dirt, but I'm gonna be digging some dirt. So, but yeah, so there you go, guys. That's just another little update. What's been going on. I'll probably possibly be taking a look at that loader, and well, I mean, I'll most likely be buying it. So, but yeah, so guys, I'm gonna take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.